Strangest fan experience. This is one of the worst. So I had something sent to me. It was quite late and it was on a Saturday night. It was about 9 o'clock. It was tickets to some show that I was going to. And there was this fan that I was obviously in London. I kept bumping into them. And then I bumped into them standing outside the gates to my building. It's like, oh, how weird is it that I bumped into you here? And I was like, you've been sitting outside my flat, haven't you? Oh, yeah, we're married now, yeah. She lives with me and it's great.
We're always told at events not to eat food that's been made at home because there's a few horror stories out there. So I haven't personally had anything happen to me, fingers crossed. I know of a few experiences that were unpleasant. So any food that's made for me, I have to be nice about it, but I'm not.
3 words: body, hair, cake.
Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. Made that worse, so.
The other day when I mean, it's not really that weird, but the other day I was coming out the gym at like 11:30 p.m. and I just remember like I hadn't posted anywhere on social media and there was like a ton of people waiting outside and it was probably the most embarrassing experience because I got out and I was like sweating, like I just met my friend in the gym and I was like, how on earth did you guys know I was here? And there's like, oh yeah, we were just like great at stalking. I was like, okay, that's really weird, like step back, so.
Everyone always asks me this question. I've never really had like a particularly weird fan experience. I've only ever really been good experiences. Nicest one was I met someone once who sort of knew just so much about all my videos and they conversed with me about loads of them and they gave me loads of cool stuff and yeah, that was really rewarding to meet someone who had watched so much of my stuff.
Weirdest fan experience? I've had a lot of weird ones, I guess. Like you get given weird gifts. That's like one thing. Like sometimes I've been given real weird gifts. Like I get a lot of condoms. I don't know why. No, I don't know why. I was like, the first time I got like condom off out, I was like 15. I was like, right, okay then. Yeah, but that's real weird.
Do you know what? It was the first time anyone asked me for an autograph. Took me so off guard. Like I was not prepared for it at all. And I'd just been doing an interview with who's the band? He's like, didn't announce me, Bucks Fizz. Just done an interview with Bucks Fizz, and somebody thought I was part of Bucks Fizz, which was quite awkward. And I just didn't know what to do, and so I wrote my actual name. Then got embarrassed and like crossed it out, and then he got really offended because I'd like drawn a line in his autograph book. It was awful. So probably that, but it was more traumatic than weird.
I met someone who was so excited to meet me that he took off his his trousers and top and started screaming and then ran down the road up and down and then jumped on me. It was pretty mental. Well, it was jokes.
I had someone come up to me and ask me if I was a different YouTuber and I had to be like, no, sorry. They thought I was James Charles. I felt really bad for them as well because it was like they'd plucked a lot of courage up to ask and I was like, no, I'm really sorry, I'm not. I think that was probably the worst.
My strangest fan experience has got to be when I received a letter to my home address, and it wasn't just a normal letter. It was kind of every bit of information about this person. It was sweet. It was actually really, really sweet, but it was also a little bit strange how they knew like where my family lived, and it was just it was quite random.
The strangest fan experience.
Oh, I know. Outside our old house, we were walking our dog, and this girl just came up to us. We each thought the other knew her. She just came up to us, gave us a hug and a kiss. Was like, hi, great to see you. I was like, oh, clearly Rose's friend.
And I was like, clearly Rosie knows her.
We both thought, like, we didn't know that person.
Like, so
it must have
that?
been a fan.
She gave us a right kiss.
They were literally like,
yeah,
good to see you. I was like,
and I was like, it's great, always a pleasure.
Always good.
Literally had no idea.
I don't think we've ever
no idea.
I feel like all my stories start with this one time, but this one time last year, my partner and I, we kind of wanted to go somewhere on holiday and we booked a flight for 8 a.m. to go to Poland. We'd never heard of this little town in Poland before, we never heard of the city. And literally in the airport, I met like 4 or 5 fans in this really tiny town in Poland. I wasn't even meant to be there. And they were locals and they'd just come back from going to uni in London and given me such amazing advice of all the places to go whilst I was there this weekend, and I had a brilliant time. And had I not met those fans, I probably wouldn't have had such an incredible time. So yeah, weird, slightly weird, but I'm so glad I met them.